Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fadhel. In this occasion, please let me share my perspective on this particular subject. It's about racism. Like it or not, racism is always happening in international society. Whether you are forced to fit it in society's stereotypes, or you basically just the victim of racist people. The tragic and traumatizing George Floyd accident that occurred back in May 25th, 2020 is a wake-up call. Not only for me, not only for you, but it's for us as an instrument in international society. Then, what makes this so important? What makes this so important is because it takes human life away, as well as their liberty. The issue that occurs right now is the systemic racism that we have to erase. What happened to George Floyd is just one from 100 cases that happen. Right now, US is known as the biggest country with the biggest systemic racism that's still going on. And I personally believe that this should never happen to US or other countries. Men get killed. Family get left behind. Women get traumatized by these issues. Hence why we should see this as an important issue to solve. As a human myself, I felt very terrible for my black brother and sister out there who still get through hard time on a daily basis just because of racism. I encourage all of you who's listening to this to come together as one and fight as well as erase racism. There are a lot of organizations that support the eradication of racism. One of them is UNESCO. Under the guidance of UN, UNESCO created World Conference Against Racism. The World Conference Against Racism, or WCAR, is a series of international events to promote struggle against racism ideologies and behaviors. 4 conferences have been held so far in 1978, 1983, 2001, and 2009. Founded after World War II as a dependent body of the United Nations, UNESCO started as soon as it was created to promote scientific studies concerning ethnic groups and their diffusion in public opinion to dispel pseudoscientific rationalization of racism. One of its first published work was the Race Question in 1950, signed by various internationally renowned scholars. In addition to that, there are a few things that we could do as individuals in order to fight and erase racism. First, start with you. Educate yourself about racism, racist act, and how to prevent it. Second, if you're parents, educate your kids about race and how to respect other races. Give them an understanding about diversity and tolerance. By doing so, you could help eradicate racism. And third, if you're caught up in an argument with your friends about racism, be brave but not cruel. Explain to them with respect and not with anger. And that is some way to fight and erase racism. Another thing we could do is simply support organizations that fight against racism by simply sharing their article or their campaign. Even more, if you have the money, donate to them. Just as simple as that. In another hand, the state government should care about racism issue as well. By being example to its people, I believe it is the right act that government should do a long time ago. One of the things that should have been done is by increasing the representation of all race to have a balanced voice in the state institution. As we know, one of the points in sustainable development goals is reducing inequalities. And I believe that racism is one of the inequalities that we should erase for good. By erasing that, we could live in a better harmony in international society. So, what's the point from all of this? Well, the red line is we have to acknowledge that racism is not only going to happen to Black people, but it can happen to all of us. Thus, we have to see this issue as an important issue in order to not only help Black people, but helping the humankind in the next several generations. Because all life matter. Thank you.